Hello, everyone. Great. We are live, so let's wait a couple minutes. Um, we are a little bit late because of the technical issues, so we are on live and we are ready. Let's wait for more people to join our stream. All right. So let's start. Today's lesson is going to be on creating this aesthetic exterior render step by step. And important part of this render is that it was generated with AI. So you can see there are some moments, but on the render, we are going to fix them. So great. Let me check how everything's going. All right. So today's our plan for the lesson is going to be split it on three parts. So the first part is creating our model of this building. I prepared some models from our scene. So today we are going to start creating our scene step by step. And the most important part that we are going to create it without a prepared plan. So you can see the process on how I actually create this render and how I think during creating the 3D model, 3D scene, how I think during creating the things like lightning, how I fill my 3D scene with models. So you can be the one who will see this process as clear as it possibly can. So I think it's great possibility to share with you my experience, guys. So please let me know in the comments if some of you are joined from Instagram, maybe some of you joined via YouTube. So yeah, let me know how do you get in the stream, and it would be really interesting for me. So all right, here we got let's see how many people watching. Okay, all right, here we got our exterior, and we can start from filling our scene with our building. And I would like to start from our first object, which is going to be our sofa. And important moment that I'm not gonna recreate our render with perspective match. I'm just gonna create it just following our reference. So where we should start? We need to go to the render setup, select Corona render. Next, make sure that in customize units we got millimeters. Same is unit setup. All right, everything looks good. So let's start from modeling our base. I'm using the program called Pure Ref, and it allows me to use the reference overlaying over our 3ds Max viewport. So let's adjust it a little bit, and let's start. I would like to create our base from the building. Let's make it 5 meters length and, for example, 10 meters width. Let's indicate 200. All right, now let's import our 3D model of our sofa. So actually, guys, there's also important moments that our lesson will be split on 2 parts, where in the first part we will create the 3D model step by step, which includes this building, filling it with models, then creating this environment, adding backgrounds, and setting up the light. But second part, which is setting up the textures, setting up the render, and improving it with AI, adding people, and improving it with not only improving it, but also adding animation in AI. All of this, and also the whole 3D scene, but without models, but with the geometry of the building, geometry of the environment. Everything will be available on our Patreon. So right there you can find not only the full lesson, which includes these 2 parts, but also the 3D scene. All right, let's continue. First, I would like to start with adding our sofa. Let's import Corona version. This is going to be our chair. Alright, we can actually use this chair for this reference right there, and also we need to indicate here minus 200. So our floor will be lower than the 0 coordinate. Let's change the color. Alright, now let's rotate it, and I would like to see on the scale of our render. Let's turn on the snap for rotation, and let's import our next models. Right, here's our model, and this is going to be the base for our scene. And right now I see that our base should be even wider. I think it's going to be 8 meters, something like that. And now I think we're doing good. Next, let's see on creating the base of our building. Is going to be our ceiling, and from the architectural side I don't really know on how this ceiling part is constructed. It looks a little bit weak, but let's just keep moving and yeah, never mind. Right. Guys, let me know if everything works with the sounds and with the video. Is it lagging or not? Because it's important for me. And let me know where are you from. It's really important. Nothing. Okay. For now, let's continue. So let's start from creating our ceiling. By holding shift, I'm just going to raise our top part like this. Let's snap it to our floor, and I would like to move it by, I think, 3 or 4 meters. Let's say there's going to be 3.5 meters. Okay, so I'm gonna lock our absolute mode, and here let's indicate 3500 like this. I think it's too much. Let's decrease on on 500. So yeah, there's gonna be 3 meters between our ceiling and floor. All right. The next part is gonna be our windows. Let's see. Let's save our scene, and we can start from creating our windows by creating the rectangle. Let's draw it somewhere here. So by the shape of this form, I can see that I think it's almost square. So yeah, let's make it 3 meters on 3 meters, because for our render I decided to paste here 3 meters right here. All right, let's indicate our dimensions. Okay, and next, the next part is going to be creating our shape of the window. All right, we are going to use a modifier called sweep for this. These are some kind of the most popular modifier which allows me to create the right shaped objects like the window, and here we need to select which align pivot we would like to reach. So here's the example. When we use this right top corner alignment, you see that our shape of the window goes inside our rectangle shape, and it's really important because when we are going to place our window behind our between our ceiling and the floor, it's gonna intersect the top part and the lower part. All right, here let's go to sweep again, and now let's select our bar. This is going to be the shape of our window, and here actually I would like to see how it turns out. All right, we can indicate somehow to the 50 and 50. Let's see, because the frame of these windows need to be pretty massive. I know again, our image is generated with AI, but let's be more constructive with our render. So I think these parameters for our renders will work out. And now let's see on the corners. Let's smooth them a little bit, so our frame will look a little bit more realistic, because in reality there are no objects without no corners, so we need to shape them a little bit. I think something like this will work. All right, let's rotate our window frame on 90 and this way. Now here I can see that if this frame is going to be 3 meters, let's now copy our frames and make them in the shape of our reference right here. Let's align it. So I'm using shortcuts F7 and F8 to select the right axis. F7 to snap it this way. Alright, so now let's move it higher. Select our lower part. And let's snap it this way. We need to take this little corner right here and snap it to our floor. This way we'll have almost ideally aligned windows. Alright, next. So by following our reference, I can see that there are around 6, because smooth path, it's enabling this some kind of shadowing on the form of our object, and when we are going to texture it, our textures sometime will be not seen correctly with this checkbox turned on. So let's turn it off for our window frames. In this case, our texture on the window will look more natural. Alright, now let's copy our window to this side. Okay. Let's save our scene. Let's copy it this way. In our case, we can convert it to editable poly and move it to follow our reference, but you know, it kind of look unrealistic because you know, it doesn't follow our original part. So in our case, I would like to left this part right here and simply simply move our window part this way. Alright, now let's move our chair closer to this side. This is gonna be a little bit turned inside and this way. Okay. Maybe let's center it a little bit more. Alright, now I would like to create our ceiling layer and adjust our ceiling to this layer so we can hide it. Alright, let's save it. Next, for creating our walls, we can simply use boxes and let's create a layer called architecture. And this is going to be the layer for our walls. Let's create here a rectangle with the height of 3 meters. Alright, for this element right here, let's save 1 meter in length, and I think 2 meters in width. Now let's convert this window to editable poly and slightly align it to our wall this way. And let's continue our wall. So we are going to model our fireplace a little bit later. And now we are just modeling this whole wall right here. And by creating this, let's say, corner right here, we can simply copy our wall. Let's align it. And guys, if you're live, please write something in the chat so I know that everything is going well, because it's important for me. And actually I for some reason can't adjust the goals for this lesson for super chats. One moment. Right, doesn't work. Hey, hello, glad to see you. All right. Actually, just let me know if everything is clear, so I can see that you understand everything and yeah, it's clear. So here we would like now to create our window, and I think the height of this wall is gonna be okay, let's say 1.2 meters. So let's move it to the 0 and this way. This is going to be our wall right here. And because it's AI, you see the issue right here. So unrealistic connection between kitchen and kitchen furniture right here. Okay. Let's move it this way. And now let's see if I'm gonna copy this wall right here. And yeah, I think we can actually simply move this window to this side. And this wall right here is gonna be part of the wall, but which one? Let me see. Yeah, I think it's gonna be thicker, so go to editable poly, convert it, and let's make it this way. Now let's align it with our window. And this way. Great. Now let's copy it and rotate. Go to pivot parameters, and now I need to set up our pivot on the center of our wall. So let's go to center objects, affect pivot only, center object, and again affect pivot only. So we make sure to turn it off. Alright, let's convert it to editable poly again and move it closer to our wall here. And let's align it this way and this way. Alright, now let's copy our wall. Let's create our window. And now let's create our walls right here, 1 and 2. We can adjust them later. Now let's affect pivots only again and save our scene. So we are moving towards the creating the model of our building. And yeah, hey guys, glad to see you. So we are now gonna continue with creating these walls right here. And let's say this is going to be the first iteration for our window. Alright, maybe let's slightly move it this way. And let's save. Great, so what we should do next, let's go to the ceiling, enable it, convert to editable poly, and move it to our part right here. For now, I think this would be enough. And now let's create our fireplace. So what we should do next, let's save our scene, and here's the link, here's the model of our fireplace, and actually I will leave the link to all of these models on our Patreon. So you can find not only the 3D scene, but also the guide to this scene on how to set up our scene the right way. So let's upload it. And here's the model of our fireplace. It looks kind of minimalist, so for now I think it would be enough. Let's place it this way. I'm not gonna make it ideally the copy of our reference, but for now I think it's more than enough. Alright, and I think we need to adjust our model a little bit more. We can scale it this way. And you know what? Actually, let's open our group and select our top part right here. Go to editable poly, select our corner parts, and let's move it this way. We are simply aligning it to our fireplace corners, and same with this dots right here. All right. Let's see next. Let's adjust this part right here. Here we can attach our left parts to the right parts. Select edit poly, click attach, and this way. All right. Here we got our 3D model for our fireplace. So next, let's create our top part of the fireplace. Let's copy this part right here. Align it. Select the dots and simply copy it this way. This is how we would get this fireplace corner. Hey there, hey guys, glad to see you here. And I think it's actually a record for our lives. There are 11 people watching us, so glad to see you here, guys. Thanks for joining. And yeah, here we are continue to model our fireplace. So by using AutoGrid, we can model our top metal part right here. So let's adjust it a little bit more. And actually, my idea is not to work, you know, the perfect, but work the effective and productive. So I'm not modeling the each piece with the precision, since it's more like an introduction lesson. I'm just creating models step by step, but without you know, deeply going into the modeling process, because you know, for the most tasks in the 3D visualization, you know, the basic modeling skills would be enough. So here you can see that most of the things are modeled simply with the boxes. So yeah, it's also really convenient to work this way. Let's align our fireplace a little bit more, not this white. And let's add this tube right here. Go to create, and object type is going to be cylinder. Again, AutoGrid, and let's align it. Okay, let's adjust the amount of the sides. and this way. This is going to be our fireplace. Right. Next, now let's create our bottom part right here with the stairs. Let's see. Let's save it first. Next, I see that our floor part is wider, so we need to adjust it a little bit. Let's select the lower part, move it a little bit lower, and now let's create this like fundamental parts right here. So let's try 500 on 500 and 1 meter in height this way. Same goes with this part right here. Let's move the parts for our floor and ceiling a little bit to the left, so there will be more space right here. Let's see, there's wider part right here. Let's make it 1 meter. All right, now the next part, and let's align it. Here I would like to indicate, I think distance from this side right here is gonna be 1 meter. Let's repeat it. Minus 1000. Right. Let's create additional part right here, and now let's create our stairs. Let's calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's make here 7 or 6. 6 or 7. Right, let's see the height of the stair. I think this will be enough. Let's move it this way and let's make it 800. All right, now let's move it closer and let's see. Alright, let's try this. Stair right here. Let's simply copy it, move it slower, and now let's repeat the process. Like this. Not really. Alright, so just keep going. You see, I'm just following the shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 2 left. And now like this. Let's attach our boxes, convert to editable poly, click attach this way, and now I think it should work. Let's make it logical, because here it's placed a little bit strange. Let's make it this way, so it will follow our path right here. Alright. Now what we should do is actually let's create the ceiling for our model. Here are some gaps between windows and ceiling. So what we should do is to just simply follow our structure. Let's save again our model, go to shape, rectangle, here I can see that we need to align by the center our model. Let's select it and align it by the windows this way. Let's do it without stairs, like this. Now our stairs. And now let's select rectangle from side to side. Alright. Now let's select our windows and walls. So this way we can create some kind of the floor decks, and with the gap right here. So there is the difference between materials. You see the wood and the plaster right here. This is what I want to repeat. Great. And what we should do next, we can press button R, and by holding shift we can create the copy and scale it down, the copy of our lines of rectangle. And now let's convert it to editable poly, select it this way, and let's transform it to the corner type, like this. this. Again, something doesn't work. Okay, I think there's actually more space because, you know, in reality, I think there should be more space, for example, for bedroom and for water closet. So it's not look realistic right now. So I think we can simply continue our lines. And for example, our bedroom and water closet will be here. Right. But for now, yeah, let's left it as it is. Simply with following this line right here. Guys, maybe you got some questions about the creation process, or maybe you need some help. You can ask your questions. And now let's convert it to editable spline. Click attach and attach it to our ceiling. Now let's move it lower, so it will repeat our ceiling. And now we need to save our scene again and press floor generator to create our floor planks. And I think we can adjust the size for our planks. It will be 200 on 2 meters with 50 offset, like this. All right. So next is gonna be our ceiling with the plaster. So I'm selecting the ceiling and the planks. So right here we can simply create a copy for our ceiling with the floor generator. Now let's delete floor generator and delete this part right here. So now we are left with the outer side for our ceiling and its wooden planks. So what I would like to do now is, here I created the copy of the line, and now it allows me to go back to our scene. Now let's select our windows. This way. And now let's adjust the size to our windows. So this is going to be our parts of the ceiling from the inside. All right, this way. And click extrude. Yeah, let's create, I think, 10 millimeters or something like that. Minus 10. Okay, -5 would be better. And now, when we created our ceiling, let's quickly split it between layers. Let's hide our ceiling. same as right here. We can adjust it later to our walls. For now it's fine. So let's create let's adjust our walls to the architecture layer. This way, let's hide it. Let's also add our fireplace to the architectural layer. This layer we will call windows. Okay. This one is going to be furniture. And this one is going to be our floor. Okay, let's hide the rest of our layers. Click Save. All right, we are slowly moving to our render, and what's next? Next is gonna be the filling of our scene with 3D models. So before we start, here I split our 3D models on different zones. So the first models are the sofa and the chairs. So later we also can add the glass and the material of the glass on the pattern, but for now I think it will be enough. So let's continue adding our furniture. Here also we got our kitchen. So as I see that kitchen is the biggest part from our render, let's start from it. Let's move to the kitchen layer and merge it into our scene. This way. Let's rotate it. It's not grouped. Let's group it and adjust it to the furniture layer. All right, rotate. Good, and let's see how it looks. Nice. It almost fits the image, but as you remember, I wanted to add the part for our bedroom and for the, let's say, water closet and the bath area. So here we need to adjust our kitchen. Let's see how we can make it real. So right, I see that our kitchen should be somewhere right here. Because of this part, and let's simply adjust it like this. Like this. All right, actually I don't really want to add here some furniture. Let's leave it as it is. Here we can add this kitchen island. but let me think 1 minute how we should add the window, the door part right here. What if we slightly adjust the size of our refrigerator? Like, let's see how much is it now. It's 1 meter here. Let's adjust it on 700 millimeters. Let's adjust it on -300. Align our parts, and let's delete one of the kitchen appliances right here. Right. This way. And this way. Right, now I think there's enough place for the entrance to our bedroom. Let's say something like that. Okay. Now let's create our kitchen island. Let's create the box. Like this. Now this way. Let's convert it to editable poly. And now I'm just trying to adjust it a little bit. Like this. Right. This way. Just making everything clear. Like this. But here we got our kitchen zone. So I see that here it will be a little bit too tight for the kitchen island and for the dining area. So let's group our kitchen zone and adjust it this way so it will be not so wide. All right. Now let's adjust our window a little bit more. And now let's add our dining zone, dining area. The first model is going to be our coffee tables. Right here you can see I'm adding them this way. And next is gonna be our dining set Corona merge. Right, let's move it this way. And yeah, let's place it on the floor actually. So remember that there are always a little gap between the floor and the furniture, like this. Let's slightly adjust it towards the middle of our fireplace. All right. Next, let's see what we should add. Let's save our scene. Let's add the rest of our chairs. So it's gonna be this one right here. Let's copy this chair right here. Delete. Okay, I see that there are some details. Let's delete the group. Let's group our chair right here. And repeat the process. And now for this chair, let's again group it and left it right here. Okay. Okay guys, let me know in the comments how it turns out. Maybe you've got some questions about our lesson. Here I can see that we need to adjust size of our windows. Let's move them to the right. This way. Let's adjust a little bit everything. Okay, let's save it. Again, and here's the result. So what we should do next, I think let's edit our kitchen, but to match our reference. So let's convert it to editable poly. This group again. Next, let's add edit poly. Select our top parts right here and move it higher, but not this much. Left some place for the gap this way, and for this part right here. Let's snap it better this way. All right. So it turns out like this. Now let's create another frame for our window. Here we need to attach each part of the bolts right here, like this. Right. Let's paste our window frame. Like this. All right. So let's save our scene. And let's see what we should do next. Next, I think we need to add more decoration to our render to fill it up a little bit. Then we can add the holes for the lightning this way. So let's see how it turns out. What if we are going to add -10 as it was before, as it was, and all right, let's select this line right here. In the editable spline, we need to actually create object circle and uncheck auto grid. And now let's select our lights. let's place them somewhere right here. I think the size is gonna be radius. Let's make it 50 as usual, with more steps, 61. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make here 4 objects. This way. Okay, let's align it, and the distance between each part right here, I think 1 meter would be enough, or -1. Or you can see that when I'm holding shift and moving my light lower, here you can see that it's around 1 meter. So this is like in order. If we don't need this precise dimensions, we can simply just create it around this coordinates. Alright, after we got our light circles, let's convert them into editable spline. Click attach 1, 2, 3. Now let's center it by our line. Then let's copy it, let's say 4 times. Alright, this is too much. Let's say like this. Center it with this and with this. Right, now let's select all of the lights, our line. Again, you see it's pretty, maybe kind of boring, but for me it's kind of meditative state when modeling. You know, it's like bringing the Lego parts side by side, and I'm just really enjoying it. So for me it's more than a project, it's more like a hobby. So yeah, let's extrude it, and this way we would have our holes for our light. Right, like this. You see there are some issues with the 3ds Max geometry showing. You see it's like broken, but in reality it's not. So just be don't be scared. So this geometry is pretty fine. Alright, so let's save it. And next I think we can move to the parts with the modeling of our seashore and the beach itself. So let's see. Next, let's create our I think this sand area and environment. So where we can start, I think we can start from plane. Let's align it with the 0 level for our stairs this way. Now we can make it like this, increase the amount of segments. Let's save. Right, this way. Now let's see. Convert to editable poly. And here we can actually modify our surface. So go to polygon modeling, use soft selection, one moment. All right. So I was thinking on creating the whole model with the brushing our let's say landscape, right? But at the other point, I'm thinking on creating the surface from our beach and our sand by just making the geometry from the plane, and I will show you how. So let's indicate here 5 and 5. I think in our case it will be more, it will work better. So select this part, increase a little bit amount of polygons, convert to editable poly. Now let's see what we got here. And here we got some of our parts of the landscape a little bit higher this way. See, I'm just a little bit adjusting all of them, so this way I'm just repeating the whole process of generating the landscape. So here we got some kind of our landscape this way. What if we try to use maybe soft selection? Yeah, right here. See, I'm creating this path right here. That's bringing to our stairs. This way. Now let's create this part right here. All right. Then we can add modifier called Turbo Smooth to add more polygons like this. It makes our surface smoother. Let's say something like that. All right, and let's save it. So now we got our surface for the landscape, and next we can add our grass. Let's save. Here I got first pack models, and I prepared models from the pack number 60, and especially I will show you next. So this one, models like that. So I think it's AI, but from our case, I think those will work for our scenarios, and also those like this, you see. So let's upload them all. Yeah, let's upload. Let's save it everything by each other. Use scene material. So here we got 4 types for our grass, like this. Let's see what we got next. Those grass right here. It's this one. Alright, for now I think it's enough. Let's try to make something with those 5 types. Let's save our scene. And now let's create our forest pack. So I'm using it for creating mesh for our scene. Okay. And let's select our, again, let's select our surface with forest pack. And now our forest is ready. Next, let's add our geometry right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This group I will add later. So with this group, let's see what we can do. Let's go to the forest lister, select our forest, let's close it, and here I didn't want to use the whole surface for creating our grass. I want to brush these areas by myself. So we need to press add new paint area. Next we need to delete surface. One moment. Second. Yeah. So we need to select our brush. Next, go to the brush options. Well, I've got a little bit off 3ds Max interface because of the 3ds Max compatibility with my monitor, but I think it's pretty fine. So let's select 2 meters here in the max size, and I'm simply adding new object area. Select this one, and now let's see. Right, let's delete. Let's try again. Let's brush. One moment. Let's see if there's issues with distribution. Right. Here we need to indicate, I think, let's say 4,000 for the start, right? And now let's paint more objects following our existing image, like this. Well, I think the 4,000 is a little bit too much in distribution. Let's say 5,000 for now, or even lower amount. Let's see. Something like this. Let's paint it. Also in this area right here. All right, since we based our grass and set up our forest, now let's save our scene and let's start from setting up our frame, right? So here I can see that our frame is a little bit horizontal or square, but let's try to make it vertical. So let's go to the Corona render setup, and why I would like to make it vertical, because in this case vertical format, if we wanted to animate it with AI, vertical format will be more accurate, and it just simply fits better. So let's paste here 1000 width and 1333, and this way. All right, now let's create our camera, Corona camera, this way. Let's create it here, a line by the 0 amount. So we always need to reposition our camera, because from the standard camera view, it's not a line in the straight line. So here we can see our view with our render. Let's see how it turns out. And now I would like to use our ratio. One moment. There was a little mistake. This way, and rule of thirds. Let's see how it turns out. And also we need to work better with our camera. Let's see if 50 field of view works better. So we receive our frame this way, and here I can say that our composition is pretty good. So I like that our window frame lines on this line right here. Also our fireplace hits this corner right here, and the overall composition, maybe we can paste our camera a little bit higher, but for me, let's paste the bottom part of our center of composition somewhere right here. And in this case, you see the slightly different composition. Here we got our diagonals, and it beats right in the center of the windows. But for our composition, I think this element will work better, because in this case we won't lose our wall right here. Our kitchen stays the same, and let's see how it turns out. All right, let's also save our scene. Next, we need to create our background with the sea view. So let's do it. Let's move to the perspective view right here. Go to the create, standard and plane. Let's paste here 4 and 4. Now rotate it, and let's use modifier called bend. Bend by x-axis, and here we are using angle, I think 90 would be enough. Let's rotate it this way, or let's see, minus 90. Yep. Here let's adjust our segments this way, so we would have this bended plane. Right, now let's increase the size of our plane like this to create our background view. Let's save our scene. And now let's move to our material editor. Materials, Corona Legacy. Go to render setup, and let's go to the scene, material override, and adjust this Corona Legacy to this material override right here. With instance, click OK, and let's exclude our first background right here, so we can see the material of it. Next, go to material, Corona. Let's try light material, and here I prepared the texture of our background. It looks like this. Let's adjust our Corona material to our background this way. So if we turn out the color, we can see our background to set up it this way. Let's adjust the scale. So here's interesting trick which I used in this scene. I actually simply paste this render into Nano Banana and asked it to create the background without building. And this is how I got this aesthetic SIA view. With the skies and everything looks perfect. Like this. I think a little bit lower scale. Smaller scale. That's right. Alright, now let's see. Let's go to the Corona material editor and create our first light. So go to maps, Corona sky, our render setup, and here we need to apply our Corona sky. With instance, let's enable our reflections and visibility overrides and refractions. And here in Corona sky, let's also add our map, general, and color correction. Right? We need color correction to adjust the temperature of our sky and the temperature of our light. Great. Now let's take a look at our preview. Let's run our Corona frame buffer and click paste Click run our render. Alright, here's our result, and yeah, it's too blue, too bright, and I don't like the result, so we need to adjust it. Alright, let's go to the materials, and in Corona sky we need to adjust saturation to 0. This way there are no blue shadows on our image. Now if we move to the Corona sky, let's decrease turbidity and intensity. Let's paste intensity to a small amount, like 0.2, and for now it's enough. Next, here if we select our background, we need to go to the object properties, and here we need to uncheck this checkbox, receive shadows and cast shadows, and click OK. Let's see our results now. How it turned out. Alright, for now it's fine. Let's add our sunlight, because there are shadows you see laying on this side right here. So let's create our sunlight. Go to light, Corona light, Corona sun, I mean, and create our sun with this 90-degree angle. Now let's run our render. And let's adjust our sunlight. But before that, I would like to go to the render setup, performance, and change the noise during rendering. No. So we got this kind of noisy effect. Alright, so let's decrease intensity of the sun, and let's start slightly adjusting it. Right, here I can see that we would need more of our grass, and it should be bigger, a lot more bigger. So let's select Corona list, I mean forest lister, and let's adjust the position of our grass. So we need to go to the transform and enable translation, rotation, and scale. In scale we need to adjust our let's say our grass from 120 to 200. So we would have more of our bushes right here. Alright, and now let's move to the distribution, and let's paste here 4000. It's too much. 6000. Let's try 8. Alright, I think 10 would be better, and let's play with the scale. Let's try to decrease the scale and decrease the minimum amount. So now it looks more realistic. Alright, let's paint here more of our forest back. Go to areas, brush, and simply draw more. But I see that we need to add more nuance areas. Let's paste here 1 meter and delete some of the grass parts right here. Let's see. Right, let's add more here. Delete some parts right here. Maybe there. All right. You see that if this area, I think it looks already pretty good. You can let me know what you think about the result. So let's adjust the grass a little bit more. All right. And now let's add our second part of the forest pack. Here we got different types of the grass. So let's create again our forest pack. Select our surface. Then we need to object area. Here we need to disable the properties. So now let's add paint area, and in geometry we need to add our new grass models. This one and this one. Okay, here let's see what we got. And now let's paint with our new type of the grass. Let's go to the transform, rotation, and here I would enable the larger scale from the start, like this. And what we also add is the areas. So now let's draw it this way, maybe this way, and somewhere right there. So here we need to also add distribution, which is going to be, okay, let's say 10,000, and let's see how it turns out. All right, I think the scale should be even more. All right, so let's see. Maybe this angle. All right, so for now, what we should add next. I think we need to edit a little bit this lower parts of our building, so there would be no visible light and more shadow. And let's add our windows. Okay, so here let's select our windows and let's create a glass for them. And this is going to be the last part of our part 1. Okay, let's save. Actually, this is my second time of creating this masterclass, so I'm thinking on making it each week, depending on the views. So if people are interested, I would be happy. So if not, it's also pretty fine. This is going to be just the exclusive part for Patreon. So something like that. Yeah. Okay, let's add our class. Go to standards primitives, box, and let's fill our frames with box right here. Let's try again. This way and this way. Yes, you can find more lessons on Patreon, and also the part 2 for this lesson, which is setting up the textures, the rendering, improving it with the AI and AI animation. All of this will be available on Patreon, and also the whole 3D scene. You will simply download it from Patreon, but again without the models of furniture, because it's simply imported. But the building, the surface, the background, everything will stay. So you can check, for example, the lighting settings, the materials, and etc. So like this. Now let's set up our second part of the window right here. And also at the end of this lesson, I will present you our mentoring program on Patreon, which is kind of exclusive, because you know, previously we got a course, but I decided to change this course more on Patreon. So yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, like this. Let's see if it turns out. This way, convert to editable poly. Let's align it with window. I have a master's degree in architecture, and also I've been working in architecture for let's say 1 year, and I've got my building projects constructed. But then I decided to move to the interior design field, and there I've been working for almost 2 years. And now I'm running my own ArchViz studio and running our Patreon course where I'm teaching people. So yeah, something like that. And architectural skills is really important to have, because without it you can't understand the logic of architecture. And you know, if you're an architect, you're usually working with architects and developers, and it's really important to understand the drawings and the plans, the constructions, because everything means a lot. Hey there. Okay, animation tutorial. I think we will have lessons about that on YouTube channel. So yeah, stay updated. So the 3D animation, you know, it's slowly going down because of the amount of the computer resources and time which it takes. So we are now moving into the AI animation, and I'm thinking on making the whole course about this topic. So yeah, all right. So I've been creating the. Yeah. So ArchViz is pretty good field, but with AI, you need to stay updated and keep your hands on the pulse, you know. So it's important, and especially now, AI can uh, can be a treat to the beginner and middle free artists. So you need to implement AI in your work as soon as possible, and yeah, that's why you can check more videos on my YouTube, and there's a couple of them about AI. So yeah, I think you will find them interesting. Yeah, Sanit Safan, no problem. Thanks for joining our lesson. So here I'm continuing to create our glass. All right, now let's attach our windows as the geometry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's add material, Corona Legacy. Apply it on our windows. And we need to set reflection and refraction on 1. In volumetrics, we need to choose absorption color. Let's see which color is this on our reference. I am from Ukraine, and from Kiev especially. Let's paste here 400 millimeters distance, and now let's see, and also we need to add our windows to exclude it. Right, let's run our render. And here we got it. You see, it's a little bit tinted with copying this effect right here. Maybe it can be even more. Let's say. So the less, the lower amount of the absorption, and the darker becomes our glass. So like this. Now also let's play a little bit more with our sunlight. So my name is Ross, and you can see my channel. It's more about architectural visualization. So nice to meet you. And here we can yeah, let's go to the view to render, and I need to press lock right here, and let's adjust our sunlight position. Let's go to the front view, select our sunlight, And here I can see that our shadows placed lower than it is right now. So we need to move our sunlight even lower, this way. You see, creating these shadows right here. Alright, and let's slightly move it this way. Even more. Alright. Well, I think it's too much, but let's adjust our color of the sunlight to the yellow-ish. This way and this way. A little bit more like this. And now let's stop our render, save our scene, and let's adjust the distance of our glass and create light mix. Let's press here light mix, generate, and this way we would have a saved scene for our light, and we can adjust it even more precisely. So let's make it brighter. And also our plane. This way, and let's see the tone mapping. Let's press plus, add filmic mapping. Here, let's left it at 0 and reach shadows. Let's increase this amount of reach shadows. And in LUT, let's add let's see our punch. Or grunge. So, right guys, this is the result that we got in 2.5 hours. So that's it. We can render it fast, and you can see the result. I think we did a pretty good job, and yeah, I can't wait to see you inside my Patreon, where we will finish this project. And yeah, go check this out. I will now share the link. So that's it. And also, guys, I want to present to you my Patreon and maybe describe you more what's interesting in there. So 1 second, let me show you on how it works. Maybe you've got some questions about it, and I would be happy to see you inside, because you know, I started to run my Patreon not so long ago, for 1 month, and here's the my Patreon page, and let's see what we got inside. So here you can see the popular products by and there's 3 tiers which we got. So the start tier gives you access to all of the lessons and quick exterior course, which is pretty cool. Let me show you how it works. So Here is the first lesson, and actually here I'm just sharing the result of creating a static render from zero, and you can see step by step the modeling, the texturing, the rendering, then AI animation, and yeah, so this is quick exterior course. This is exterior that breaks down piece by piece, and you can see that on lesson 1 I'm breaking the modeling process with the floor plans, and yeah, that's it. And also here you can find here was the lesson on the channel about creating the CSI exterior, and for the basic subscribers you can see that the full scene of this exterior available without furniture but with textures and my lightning setup. And also here's the most powerful part of the basic membership. It's first, all of my products from my store is available, and you can check them right here. Let me show you. So for subscription for only $9, you will receive this senior pack with 400 materials, which I'm using in all of my projects, for only $9. Okay, it's this subscription also includes this CSI exterior, and also will include our scene and part 2 from this lesson inside our Patreon. So maybe you've got some questions, and yeah, I would be happy to answer them. And also the coolest feature of my Patreon, which I was, kind of curious to present to you, because I think it's somehow revolutionary in the area of ArchViz courses, because most of the ArchViz courses are expensive, they are long, and actually, when you're only finish the course, there are a lot of new updates for ArchViz, for animation, and for everything. So on Patreon, the content is always updated, and for mentoring membership, you will receive 1 month of my support. So how it looks, let me show you. So here's how Patreon mentor tier works. For only $50 per month, you receive an access to the course with me. That in most of the ArchViz courses cost starting from $500. With me, it's only $50. So what this tier gives you? It gives you opportunity to get from me your personal evaluation of your skill. So when you only apply, there you will fill the form where I evaluate your skill, and I'm sharing with you your growth plan for monthly practice. This monthly practice gives you opportunity to create one interior or one exterior render, but depending on your level. So by finishing this 1 month course, you will receive the experience working with me, right? And you will receive the ready work in your portfolio. And believe me, from my experience as a studio owner, there are some studios where you can show only one quality work, and it's more than enough to find a job and apply it to the studio. Because from my experience, there are a lot of 3D artists, and a lot of them are in the same quality level. So when I'm looking for 3D artists for my projects, or when I'm speaking with other founders of 3D studios, we are all see that right now it's a huge gap between the true masters of 3D visualization and a lot of junior or mid-level 3D artists. So I think it's a great opportunity, including that there are only 10 places available. And yeah, so if you was interested in watching my lesson, I would be happy to see you inside our course. So that's it. And if you're interested in part 2, join Patreon and can't wait to see you inside. So that's it, and maybe we've got some questions. I'm happy to answer them. Actually, I think we did a pretty good job right here. Yeah, there are a lot of work left to do, but I think we did a really great result. Let's render it. All right, let's wait for a minute or two, and if no questions, all right, guys, it was fun to work with you. So I hope to see you on the next Thursday, and maybe we can create something new, interesting. So yeah, that's it. And please left your likes, comments, and don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next lesson.